is about Duck Creek policy transactions. We will see various transaction types including out-of-sequence transactions. The agent initiates policy by creating a new quote. The quote stays in referred status until the underwriter either approve or decline. After the approval agent commits the transaction, the policy becomes active. Also called in force policy. On active policy, a list of the transactions are performed. The endorse transactions, used for making changes in policy forms. The information transaction updates a policy with non-premium bearing changes. The cancel pending transaction, triggered by a billing system to notify users that the policy will be cancelled if there is a balance due. The renew transaction renews a policy for the next term. The non-renew transaction tells the system to stop renewal and non-renewal notice issued. The cancel transaction cancels the policy and sets cancelled status. Reinstate, reissue and rewrite can be performed on the cancelled policy. The reinstate transaction reverses a cancellation and sets status to the original status before the cancellation is performed. The reissue transaction also reverses a cancellation, but the difference is, it changes the policy effective date, which is the cancellation date. The rewrite transaction rewrites a cancelled policy. It creates a new policy with a new effective date. Once the policy period is over, it will get expired. Few lines of policies like worker compensation and general liability are subject to audit. Final audit transaction is performed by the insurance company at the end of each policy term to verify if the policy reflects accurate rating information. Also, they check annual revenue was reported adequately. Additionally, there are two transactions, revise and rescind. These are used on the previously committed transaction. The revise transaction revises an existing transaction by creating an endorsement effective the same date as an original transaction. Revise can be performed endorse, reissue, rewrite, and reinstate transactions. The rescind transaction reverses the transaction. It restores policy values that existed before the transaction. Rescind can be performed only on endorse, cancel pending and non-renew transactions. An out-of-sequence transaction is a transaction that is effective before the effective date of a previously committed transaction. For example, consider policy has with new business effective date as 8th January. The user has performed the first endorsement with an effective date of 15th of October. Now a new transaction is initiated on policy with the effective date of 10th April, which is effective prior to the first endorsement. It will be called out-of-sequence transaction.